Oh, you know you crossed the line when you have to apologize to Japan for screwing up their history. In Ubisoft's quest to squeeze more money out of the Assassin's Creed franchise, they made a glaring mistake. They pissed off Japan. Let me walk you through it, cause it's a thing of special magnificence. See, what had happened was, there was this guy, this former slave, named Yasuke, who Nobunaga turned into a samurai, really just his bodyguard. Someone from Ubisoft found out about this and went, "Ooh, I know, let's make the African guy one of the lead characters in our game set in feudal Japan." What could go wrong? Well, you might find out that the Japanese are very adept at getting in your ass. They do not like this. And keep in mind, Japan loves playing around with their own history, changing things, adding in crazy elements like aliens, crossovers with Europe, completely anachronistic stuff. They gobble that stuff up. So for Japan to complain about Assassin's Creed Shadows, it must have really got under their skin. For weeks, Japanese people have voiced their opinion about this game featuring a black character as the lead, even though the game is supposed to be about feudal Japan. The usual suspects on the far left tried to spin this as racism, but that doesn't work here because African people aren't native to feudal Japan. They also tried arguing that Yasuke is an historical figure, which is true, but what little we know about him makes him out to be a novelty to Nobunaga, not a full-fledged samurai. Basically, there's no reason for Yasuke to be a lead in a series that has consistently presented people native to the lands and time periods as the main characters of the games. So, if you're Ubisoft and you really want Japanese people to buy this game, what do you do? Well, you apologize. But not really. Ubisoft put out this Japanese community update where they pretend to apologize for taking massive liberties with Japanese history, but it's written in corporate speak, so it's not that easy to tell that they're not really sorry. But I speak corporate bullshit, so I'm going to translate. Let's begin. Quote, "To our esteemed Japanese community, a message from the Assassin's Creed Shadows development team." Translation, "To you whining crybabies, I guess we gotta talk to you. First, we want to express our heartfelt thanks for all your support for the Assassin's Creed series, which now has its own history spanning almost 20 years. Over this time, we have explored various settings, time periods, and characters, from an assassin during the Third Crusade to a Viking in 9th century England, and countless more. Translation, we've been doing this for 20 years and nobody complained, yet here we are. For many of our team, creating an Assassin's Creed game set in feudal Japan has been a long-cherished dream. Since the announcement of Assassin's Creed Shadows, we have received many positive reactions, but also some criticism, including from you, our Japanese players. We share your passion for history and deeply respect your care for the historical and cultural integrity of your rich heritage. We would like to address a few points to clarify our intention and creative decisions. Translation, we've been wanting to make this game set in Japan for a while, and we kinda thought you wouldn't care what we did cause you do all that funny shit yourselves, but you did care. Imagine our surprise. So I guess we gotta explain ourselves. Overall authenticity efforts. Well, I'm sorry, but who the fuck writes this? Efforts? Efforts? What efforts? There are no efforts. You did what you wanted to do and it backfired. But come on, let's get on with the spin. We have put significant effort into ensuring an immersive and respectful representation of feudal Japan. However, our intention has never been to present any of our Assassin's Creed games, including Assassin's Creed Shadows, as factual representations of history or historical characters. Instead, we aim to spark curiosity and encourage players to explore and learn more about the historical settings we get inspired by. Translation, you know when we said we tried to make the Assassin's Creed games historically accurate like 20 years ago when we bragged about the settings being perfect matches to the real locations and using real languages and having real historical figures in the games? We were kidding. We're not trying to be accurate. We just wanted to look kind of right. Close enough. If you want to know what any of this stuff actually looked like, you should look it up on your own. We're not going to do that because it's not that kind of game, even though we've been saying it was for the last 20 years. Assassin's Creed Shadows is first and foremost designed to be an entertaining video game that tells a compelling historical fiction set in feudal Japan. Translation, it's not even real. It's like the Avengers in New York or Gunsmith Cats in Chicago or Jesus in Jerusalem. You're not supposed to care about the historical accuracy of the people the game is about. It's historical fiction. That's not historically accurate. Yeah. Our team extensively collaborated with external consultants, historians, researchers, and internal teams at Ubisoft Japan to inform our creative choices. Despite these sustained efforts, we acknowledge that some elements in our promotional materials have caused concern within the Japanese community. For this, we sincerely apologize. Translation: Our DEI experts told us it was fine. We followed all the procedures and protocols. You were supposed to like it. We don't understand. All game footage presented so far is in development, and the game will keep evolving until launch. Based on the constructive criticism we have received, we will continue our efforts until we put this game into your hands and beyond. Translation: Technically, this is a finished product, but since you don't like it, this is just promo materials for a totally incomplete game that's due out in November. 4 months from now? Yeah. It's still in development. It's evolving. It's due out in 4 months, but we got time. We can fix it. We also want to clarify that while we have been consulting with many people throughout the development process, they are in no way responsible for the decisions that are taken by the creative teams in the interest of gameplay and entertainment. Consequently, we respectfully request that any criticism not be directed at our collaborators, both internal and external. Translation: Don't blame the people we hired who told us this was kosher. Even though they're obsessed with identity politics and constantly ignore historical accuracy to push their agenda, they are in no way responsible for our dumbass decisions. Wait, is that what we're going with? We're gonna blame ourselves when we could just blame them? Are you sure? This is from corporate, from the top. Really? Really? Okay. Creative liberties and historical inspirations. While we strive for authenticity in everything we do, Assassin's Creed games are works of fiction inspired by real historical events and figures. From its inception, the series has taken creative license and incorporated fantasy elements to craft engaging and immersive experiences. Translation: It's not even real! Sure, we made it seem like it was based on actual history, but it's just, it's fantasy. It's fiction. Honestly, we thought you wouldn't care. The representation of Yasuke in our game is an illustration of this. His unique and mysterious life made him an ideal candidate to tell an Assassin's Creed story with the setting of feudal Japan as a backdrop. While Yasuke is depicted as a samurai in Assassin's Creed Shadows, we acknowledge that this is a matter of debate and discussion. Translation: Seriously, we thought you wouldn't care. Remember when you did it where the samurai died and came back and he was trapped in this girl's body and she was him? You had the one where they were doing hip-hop and capoeira with the fros and that gay Dutchman? You did Afro Samurai? How come that got a pass? We thought you wouldn't care. Damn! We have woven this carefully into our narrative, and with our other lead character, the Japanese shinobi Naoe, who is equally important in the game, our dual protagonists provide players with different gameplay styles. Translation: See, we put a Japanese bitch in it. What's the problem? She's a cool ninja. You like ninjas. She's got the kunai and the titties. I mean, you're not gonna see them, that'd be sexist, but she's got them. She's your new waifu, right? We greatly value your feedback and encourage you to continue sharing your thoughts, respectfully. Translation: Okay, so we said we sorry, so can you kindly shut the fuck up? Please and thank you. While we understand that meeting everyone's expectations is very difficult, we sincerely hope that when Assassin's Creed Shadows launches on November 15th, players in Japan and around the world will appreciate the dedication, effort, and passion we have poured into it. Translation: Give me that money. You know you want to. You got 4 months to cough up that cash. That's just enough time for us to add in some microtransactions and to pretend to work on the day one patch to make sure the game actually runs. And there you have it, Ubisoft's bullshit apology in all its glory. Ironically, this could have been avoided by simply making the male character of the game set in Japan actually Japanese. None of the other Assassin's Creed games have ever tried this let's see the world from an outsider's perspective approach, because that's not the point of the games. The point is to be an assassin who's part of the culture being depicted. That doesn't mean Yasuke couldn't be in the game. He could be a side character. He could be a plot-moving character. He just shouldn't be the lead because he's not Japanese. You want to set the game in the Kingdom of Kush and then have a black lead character? Knock yourselves out. Ubisoft has any number of other ways to add in black characters, but playing identity politics with feudal Japan? No, that's never gonna work in your favor. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.